Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we're going to be organizing my newest bookcase. And in the meantime, I'm also going to be showing you guys my book collection. So I initially wanted to record the entire process of me building the bookcase, but to be real, I ended up getting super frustrated, so I had to cut the cameras. But I do have some clips on my phone from when I initially unboxed it, and also some other random clips that I recorded while building the bookcase, so I will include those. No, it's not ideal, but I still think it's entertaining. So I'm gonna include those clips right now, and when we come back, we're finally going to start organizing my bookcase. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be me building my new bookshelf because let me tell you, I've been needing a bookshelf for a minute because I have books everywhere around my room. I found this bookshelf on Walmart and it was only like, I think 28 bucks. So it was a pretty good deal, so I decided to buy it. It's not my ideal bookshelf, but it'll do for the time being until I find one that really suits my room. I thought it'd be fun to record me attempting to build this bookshelf on my own and organizing and putting all my books on the shelf. Okay, we're starting off easy. We're starting off good. Okay, so I have to attach this panel to this panel right here. But it says I have to screw it on, okay? So here we have it attached already. And so here's a screw. And I'm screwing and nothing's happening. Update. I managed to screw in this screw after trying for like 2 hours. What did I do differently, you may ask? Absolutely nothing. I just, tried it and it just magically worked by the grace of God. So then I tried on this one and it still doesn't work. It's just not budging. She's just not doing me any favors. She's being really bitter right now. I think on this one I did put a little more pressure, but I tried it here and it's just not working. So it's just stupid. So I think I'm about to give up. Look at my masterpiece. Not only did I manage to screw in both screws, but I also managed to attach these two pieces to this piece. So I actually do have to stop right now because I have to hammer in these little nails, and I have to hammer in like, I think 20 of them. And it's 11 o'clock. My whole family's already knocked out. Not really, but everybody's in bed. So it's like dead silent. And I'm not gonna be that one person hammering at 11 o'clock at night. It's 11 in the morning right now. I'm gonna finish this whole thing right now. Y'all already know I have to get the playlist going, so let's go ahead and start this. So this is the bookcase that I built all by myself. I'm actually really proud of myself, y'all, because I've never built anything on my own. I usually get the men to do it, but hashtag women in architecture, am I right? I threw all my books on the floor, so it's kind of a disorganized mess. So let's get right into organizing it. So you know what? I'm actually thinking of separating my books into different categories so that when I put it on display, it's a lot easier to handle. So I'm thinking of separating them into genre, author, and series. So I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, so I separated them all into different categories, and I actually mixed in my physical TBR, but I honestly don't think I'm gonna put it on my bookcase. I think I'm gonna separate it. So we're gonna have to maneuver that around once we get to it. Okay, so the first pile we're gonna start with is my romance pile, since it is the biggest pile out of all of these. I moved you guys up a little, but these are all my miscellaneous romance books that are not part of series. So let's start with this. I'm thinking of putting all my Colleen Hoover books first, since she's the only author that I have like a lot of books from. So first up, we have All Your Perfects. Maybe Someday. I absolutely hated this book. I would give it away if I could. If anybody wants it, hit me up. Next we have Hopeless, which is my favorite Colleen Hoover book. Then we have, of course, It Ends With Us. We also have Confess. Okay, that looks good to me. Next up we have Nicholas Sparks. I only have 2 of his books. The first one, I DNF'd, which is The Best of Me. It literally disappointed me so much. I tried to read it like 3 times, DNF'd it every time. The next one I love, and it's actually one of my favorite books. It's The Last Song, but she's so beaten up and so tiny that I kind of don't want to put her on here. I don't know, that kind of looks awkward to me. Like, she's so small. I think we're gonna hold her off for a minute. Next up we have some miscellaneous ones. We have Beach Read by Emily Henry. Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ritchie. Hated this book. Normal People by Sally Rooney. Didn't really like this one either. Unpopular opinion. If You Had Been With Me. To All the Boys I've Loved, which actually this is on my TBR, so let's put that. there. And then Love and the Little White Lie, which is also on my TBR, so we're gonna move that. Since these are all white, let's put that there. Next up, we have Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers, which is now one of my favorite books of all time, if not my favorite book of all time. Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. Redeeming Love is actually pretty tall, so I kind of don't like her being here. I kind of want to put her over here. So we might have to switch this around. Okay, so I ended up switching it around. I put my romance books first, and then I put my Colleen Hoover specific books next. Now we can, I don't know, because I don't want to put these two books in yet. I really don't know what to do. I'm thinking of putting my classics next because it's the smallest pile that I have that isn't a series, because I don't want to put any series on here. I want my series to have their own shelf. I think I'm going to put classics next. So in this pile, we have Macbeth by Shakespeare, The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, which I actually am going to put on my TBR pals. We have The Awakening by Kate Chopin, which I'm actually going to put on my TBR pal. Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights. Love this book. Les Miserables by Victor Hugo is actually on my TBR pals. And finally, Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I absolutely love this book, one of my favorites of all time. I'm probably going to buy one of those little Greek statues from Amazon for decor, and I'm just going to place it right here as a placeholder. Let's go on to the next shelf. So on this next shelf, I'm thinking of putting all my series together. I was debating whether or not to put my thriller or mystery on here. I think I'm going to stick with series because I want to display my series like right there. I don't want to put it all the way at the bottom. Okay, so first series we have is the Divergent series by Veronica Roth, which I was debating whether or not to put on my shelves because two of them are hardcovers and then the other two are paperbacks, and that really bothers me, but I'm gonna put them on there anyways. So we have Allegiant, Insurgent, Divergent, and 4. So we have a dilemma. My hardcovers don't fit on this second shelf. So now I think we're gonna do a complete 180. So we're gonna move all this down here, and then we're gonna put my series in this first shelf. So I ended up moving my classic literature and my romance section on the second shelf, but Macbeth and Redeeming Love ended up not fitting on the shelf because it was too small. So what I did was I moved this shelf up one notch. Now they ended up fitting, but also when I moved it up, my hardcovers to also fit down here. But I don't think I'm gonna move it. I would honestly prefer my series to be on the first shelf anyways. Okay, the next series I have is the Shatter Me series by Tahira Mafi. But actually, Restore Me is on my TBR. We have Shatter Me, Ignite Me, and Unravel Me. Wait, actually this is out of order. The next series we have is The Selection by Kiara Cass. We have The Selection, The Elite, and The One. The One is actually on my TBR, so we're gonna put that to the side. We can just put that right there. The next series I have is the Off Campus series by Elle Kennedy. I hate the covers of these books, so I was really debating whether or not to put them on my shelf, but I'm gonna put them. Next I have the Hunger Games series by Susan Collins. I only have the first 2 books, and they're actually on my physical TBR. Next series I have is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which is the first book, and then Good Girl Bad Blood, but this one is actually on my TBR, so we're gonna move it to the side, and this one we're gonna put right here. That concludes all the series that I have for now. So now we're gonna move on to the third shelf, which is my mystery thriller section. We have We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I was honestly debating whether or not this could even be considered a mystery, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that it can be. Next book we have is Dreamland by Robert L. Anderson. This book, as you can tell, is beaten up, but it's a great book, so I do want to put it on my bookshelf. Next I have The Cabin by Natasha Preston, which is actually on my physical TBR, so we're gonna move that. Then I have A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham, which is also on my physical TBR. Next we have this book called Found by Margaret Peterson Haddix, which I actually read in like the 5th grade, but I loved it so much that I ended up keeping it. So we're still gonna put it on my bookshelf. Next up we have Where the Crawdad Sings by Delia Owens. House at the End of the Street, The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. And lastly, we have The Only Survivors by Megan Miranda, which is actually on my physical TBR, so we'll move that. Okay guys, so I ended up putting all my thriller and mystery down here like I planned to, but there ended up being way too much empty space, which I did not like. It was bothering me. So what I did is I ended up moving my classic literature section, which used to be up here, down here. And then I also added 3 other books. The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak, which is actually my favorite book of all time. orphan train hatchet. And then I also added the first Bible I ever got the day I was baptized when I was like 9 years old. So I just put that there as well. So right now I'm gonna go looking on Amazon for just little decor that I can add to these empty spaces. I've seen people put their books like face forward like this. So I don't know, I'm gonna try different methods. And then I'll get back to you guys once I get my decor. And also one last thing, I ended up moving my plant up here. So yeah, this is what it's looking like so far. But like I said, we're gonna change something. So I'll get back to you in a few days. All right, you guys, so this is my finished bookcase. And I'm definitely gonna add more in the future, but this is how it's looking so far. So I did add a picture frame with a random book page in it. And then I added this little note card that says, books are a summary of human knowledge, nutrition books in the world. And that card came with this little lamp that I bought that attaches to like your books. It's really cool. I literally am obsessed with it. Then I just added a candle, a couple of shells that I've collected, and my fake plant. The organization of the books has stayed the same. These are my series. I added a hardcover book sleeve for now because this is the current book I'm reading, but I was getting tired of the cover sleeve, so I took it off. And then I added a little trophy here. Then the second shelf contains all my romance books. And then the last shelf contains my thriller mystery and my classic literature. Yeah, that is my completed bookcase. So guys, that concludes today's video. I'm so happy that I finally have a bookshelf in my room. I finally have a place to put all my books. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in my next video.